This is the place they say people come from far, far, far away to find their dreams, chasing down these meteors and comets called dreams in the sky of life.
Hey, it's your girl, Ashley, aka The Widow, and today with me is Brother Dot, and oh my gosh, the No Way Home trailer leaked on TikTok. What is absolutely going on? Somebody stepped on somebody's moment, right, B-Dot? So we're going to press this little button and we're going to get right into it right now, right, B-Dot? Are you excited for this? Well, he's not. Look at him, he's frozen.
I'm spectacular.
Here we go.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Hi, it's your girl, Ashley, aka The Widow, and like I said, Brother Dot is here, aka ssjk-dots Sanctum, and B-Dot. What happened on this Sunday before we got to our Marvel Monday?
Now, I wouldn't say I'm the most, religious type of person, but man, somebody did the work of the gods today and dropped a trailer. Someone, I don't know who specifically, it was from a certain group of people, but someone has dropped a No Way Home trailer. And just to clarify for guys before we get into it, it's unfinished, so some parts CGI is not done, but it was enough shots in here to where nobody could infect this unless Tom Holland and them are trolling us. That's the only way. That's the only way I can try to rationalize this. But it's enough footage in here to where it is not fake. None of this is fake, and we'll explain it when we get into it.
Yes, and of course we will not be showing you any of that footage because we don't want Sony, and we don't want I don't want to have to get a divorce from Kevin. You know that Kevin Feige is my husband, and so we're just going to explain to you the things that we saw, and what we think about it, and a little bit of information about who allegedly might have been behind this leak and what could all that entail for this person, moving forward. And this was supposed to be shown at Comic-Con. We were supposed to see this, one day this week. I believe it probably would have been yesterday because it's a Marvel Monday. It's Monday, the first day, like these big events happening. But unfortunately for Sony, that didn't happen. And before we get into talking about the things that we see in the trailer, what do you think about this theory that Sony deliberately put this out here? Do you believe that?
I mean, it's just like that time when people were telling us that, remember when the Sonic movie came out and Paramount put out that fake Sonic design just to make people hate it on purpose. So when they do the real one, they're gonna like it. I don't think this was leaked. This was not done by Sony on purpose. Why would Sony leak an unfinished trailer that's not even a full representation of the final product? I mean, most of this is the final product, but there's unfinished stuff in this trailer. Sony's not going to leak an unfinished trailer. I don't know any movie company that leaks unfinished trailers. Now, maybe someone did orchestrate something to leak this and to give it some hype, but there was already hype before there was even a trailer. Everybody been wanting this trailer. This is like the trailer. This is the most hyped trailer I have seen in a while that nobody hasn't seen yet.
Yeah,
nobody hasn't seen this in recent years. I don't know who hyped up a trailer before we seen the movie. I don't even think we was doing this for Infinity War or Endgame, because those trailers was not held hostage. Kevin Feige and Sony is holding this trailer hostage. So this is a totally different situation. So no, I don't.
And we got the actors who would troll us on social media about the trailer, and things like that. And I agree with everything that you're saying, B-Dot. I don't think if this was a finished trailer, with the finished CGI in it, I might be able to say maybe they did leak it, right? Some of this stuff. But I don't believe that any company that's in the business of making films and making, these big budget films would release what we've seen, in this leaked trailer based off the unfinished CGI, because you can tell. I mean, it's because it's not finished. What we see. So do you want to talk about the opening? You can start with that, and then I'll add a little bit there. What do we see? In that in the opening of the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer.
So we see an opening of the trailers. Peter's with Michelle. They're talking about everything that's been going on recently. So this is a little bit after the Mysterio event. Peter obviously been trying to go to school and stuff, and people know he's Spider-Man. They're basically talking about the struggle it is to now be Peter Parker with his identity exposed and try to be Spider-Man. And also people have issues with him because he killed Mysterio. He killed Mysterio. That's the other issue he's dealing with. So he got the feds on him. He has his people in the school and stuff asking the question. They're like, hey, people are just interested in being Spider-Man because they know he's Spider-Man at this point. So it's right now he's trying to tackle how to be Spider-Man in a world where everyone knows who Spider-Man is. It's pretty much the opening of the trailer. Ashley, do you want to say anything?
Yeah,
more?
and then we also hear that part where MJ. I like how beat up made sure he said Michelle, even though she is her. We do know that, but we call her MJ. That she actually says, Peter, you don't have to lie to people anymore, right? That's a line from the trailer that she tells him. And you obviously know that there are going to be those people who believe that propaganda from Mysterio that Peter Parker, Spider-Man, killed him and then Mysterio was the good guy. But then there's also going to probably be those people on Spider-Man's side. So you're going to get to see like this back and forth. Is he might be hated by many and loved by some, and what is that like, being this young kid in this world where maybe most of the world hates you, or maybe you've cleared your name and they still don't believe you. I feel like that's what we see. And then what happens next, B-Dot?
After this, Spider-Man proceeds to go to the Sanctum where Doctor Strange is at, the Sanctum that's in New York. He goes to Doctor Strange, and this is what I theorized at the end of Far From Home that they can do, and they're doing it, but they got to make it complicated. So Peter's going to Doctor Strange to work up a spell on how to make everyone forget he's Spider-Man. But Wong comes in and tells him, that's a dangerous spell. You shouldn't do that. Then Strange tells Wong, yeah, I may not do it, but then they proceed to go try it. They try this spell, stuff happens. That is not supposed to happen. Ashley, go ahead.
And then, during that spell, when he tells him, you shouldn't do this. This is dangerous. And we also get those cute little moments, where Peter's like calling him sir, and then he calls him Steven, which is kind of another play when you go back. I know I'm giving like little bitty things to Infinity War when he, in the play on, Mr. Strange, Doctor Strange, and he didn't understand that, he thought Strange was, a pseudonym for him. So we see that. Also in that, in the Sanctum, we hear he's like, the whole world will forget that you're Spider-Man. And he was like, well, I don't want everyone to forget. He's like, he talks about, MJ and Ned and how he wants these specific people to still know. And Strange is like, that's not how spells work. It's all or nothing. And then going back when Peter's talking about how everybody knows now that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, it's not also about the effect that it has on him. He's worried about putting the people that he loves in danger. And you can see that that's weighing heavy on him in that moment when he's talking to that detective. We hear him say, it's bigger than me, basically. It's about the people that I love and about wanting to protect them and to shield them from any blowback that might come their way just from being affiliated with Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Anything else you want to add there?
So when we get into the mix of it, after they do the spell, something happens. Just say we're in the multiverse now. Multiverse starts to go whoop, 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 all weird and stuff. We see a scene, unfinished scene. It looked like some good
Spider-Man cartoon, didn't it?
It looked like some blue screens, green screen, whatever whatever the screens they use. You got the blue and green. He was on a train and he was going through. It looked like the mirror dimension. I don't know, it was either the mirror dimension or somewhere in the multiverse. It was something. I just saw stuff moving and flipping, and I was theorizing: is that the train where Doc Ock fought Toby on? That's what I was thinking. Because when we get to the end of this trailer, Doc Ock says something that felt strange, or maybe it's just another scene clipped to another scene to make it feel like it's part of the same scene. But we'll get to it. That's why I theorized. It was on a train. It probably was the same train that Peter fought, Spider-Man fought Doc Ock on. He's traveling through the different Spider-Man multiverses. And then we start to see Thunderbolts and stuff, yellow Thunderbolts. So Electro's in this movie. They finally fixed the color of his Thunderbolts, not that ugly blue stuff. Thank you, Marvel. Pretty much that's all we saw for now. That I can really say was like boom. Like we saw Electro's Thunderbolt. We saw Spider-Man look like going through the mirror dimension multiverse, and we also saw Doctor Strange push Spider-Man out of his body. And just like
I love astral projection.
So he did the same thing to Peter. Did put into a little astral projection. So far, that's all I'm going to say, because the biggest thing I want to talk about is the end of the trailer, because of something someone says, and I'm like,
did you want to say what the other thing about Doc Ock, or do you want me to say it?
I mean, it's at the end. That's why I want you to go, and then when it's all going to lead up to the end.
Like Doc Ock, we do know he looks a little wonky too, right? In this trailer, because you can see that because the green screen, because the de-aging of him, they're obviously de-aging him. And so we do have that moment. So that's not, so we do get the de-aging of Doc Ock. Because a lot of people are like, how's this going to make sense? He's aged, he's dead, but he is de-aged to look like Doc Ock, in, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Go ahead. I would like, B-Dot's going to give us the big boomity boom 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 reveal.
All right. So when Doc Ock pops up, the reason I want to say this is because I'm not, we know trailers trick us. Sometimes they'll have another scene from a different part of the movie that can blend into another scene. Doc Ock, when he came out of something, look at a little port or whatever. He just showed up on a bridge. Looked like Peter was defending someone. Wasn't sure if it was Aunt May, but he was on the bridge. He activated his Iron Spider suit and he was trying to protect somebody. Doc Ock saw our Peter and he said, hey, Peter. But what, Ashley, do you remember what he specifically said? He said it in a certain way. He didn't just say, hey, Peter.
It sounded like Goblin to me, but I could barely hear. I could barely hear.
Yeah, and someone was recording it from another phone.
Like a phone, computer screen, TV, something, yeah.
But basically, Doc Ock said to what I'm assuming our Peter, the Tom Holland Peter, he said, "Hey, Peter," as if he knew that was Peter, because he knows a Peter. He knows Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man Peter. He just doesn't know Tom Holland Peter. So this is what I'm thinking. This is probably in the middle of the movie where the Spider-Man is already probably linked up and the villains already got together. They know all about all three Spider-Man. They know they're all Peter, but they're talking to them as like, hey, Peter, like, we know what's up. We all linked up. Because this is the thing with this trailer that I like. Yeah, it seems like they're going to do this multiverse thing the way I think they're going to do it. Because we know William Dafoe's Green Goblin's in this movie, right? But we know it's Sandman,
Blizzard, Electro, and Doc Ock. So we have 5 members of this multiverse Sinister Six. We'll get to theories about that, but go ahead.
That's why I hope they're doing it like this, because it would make the most sense. So remember the other person that leaked some stuff a while back? Remember that leak video we did? And they
the toilets.
Right. And they were saying that, Andrew Spider-Man is supposed to be a teacher, clearly after Gwen Stacy death and everything, and he's going to be the one coming here. So this is what I'm thinking. I think because Mary Jane Kristen Dunst is supposed to be in this. I hope they do it like this. They're gonna pull Green Goblin right before he dies by Peter. So there's gonna be a fresh Green Goblin, still evil and everything. Won't be him near the end after Peter died, after Toby killed him, because it wouldn't make no sense after Toby killed him that he would show up. So I was gonna go in the multiverse and grab him before he gets as far as he did with Toby Spider-Man. But the Toby we're gonna get is most likely gonna be a Toby after all that stuff. He's married to Mary Jane and everything. Same for Andrew. After everything happened with Gwen Stacy, and we're gonna get them after all that. What I hope we don't get, I don't want to get Spider-Man 1 Toby. I want to get like them near their end.
That would, I agree. Doc Ock, he's de-aged.
Yeah.
And Toby, but we only know, I wonder, are they gonna, Jamie Foxx, I guess he might not look that much older. It might just cause hair dye for him. Because it's not been, such a long time since he was last in Amazing Spider-Man. So there's no de-aging needed there. But do you think that they're trying to make, because it all doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm talking about like he causes everybody to forget that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But obviously that can't be the reason why people can come through, into different,
that's why
timelines. Because what we know that Loki causes these branches, and we hear what, He Who Remains tells us about how he prevented these, multiversal crosses over because he was protecting the sacred timeline. But I wonder if is it him doing the spell? Is it what Loki's doing? What happens in Loki? Is it WandaVision that all these things then collide together that then break it? I don't know, or that causes us to get to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where everything is kind of in a place where the multiverse is going to collapse or maybe be in trouble. What do you think? I'm just curious. Or are they just doing that as a that's just in the trailer because that's how people forget that he's Peter Parker? I don't know. I mean, Spider-Man, I can say it's Peter Parker again.
Well, I think it's mainly because of Loki, but also if we go back to those leaks, remember that person in which was talking about
obviously
William Dafoe Goblin is going around stealing like these power sources from Tony Stark's company to power something. So I think somehow William Dafoe Green Goblin.
I really hope it's not. I love my Tony Stark and I love my Iron Man, but I think that we need to, other than like, Iron Wars or, when we get introduced to Ironheart, I think that it's time now to move away from, Tony Stark tech, Goblin. I mean, because I feel like,
that's what Tony Stark was mentioned. Nothing. It's all about Spider-Man, and that's what I like. From what I see in the trailer, when we really see it, it's probably going to be the most epic Spider-Man trailer of all of these other Spider-Man Homecoming and Far Home trailers. Because it's solely focused on Spider-Man and just Spider-Man everything. Yeah, he has an Iron Spider suit. I get that and stuff. I'm not really a big fan of him having all this Stark tech.
Upgraded. He upgraded it. It's upgraded in this movie. So he has an upgraded Iron Spider suit. Who upgraded it?
Oh, probably Tony's ghost that upgraded it. Actually, let's keep it real. But back to the William Dafoe thing. This is my thing, because if they do this right, because the only way for this to make sense, if William Dafoe is the head of this, that means he would have to be pulled from Spider-Man 1, right? And mind you, he only cares about trying to get revenge on the people who tried to take down his company. And Toby's Spider-Man gets in his way and prevents him from trying to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. I really wonder what his motivation is going to be for this movie if he's like the one pulling the strings, which I'm fine with. I just hope
Green Guy, he's also at the point kind of driven mad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So he's in that descent of madness, and maybe for him, any Peter Parker, any version of Spider-Man, any version of Peter Parker Spider-Man to him is a threat.
Yeah,
Possibly.
and
You know, I mean, obviously these are just speculation and us just making, you know, what could possibly be.
right. And found that motivation because it makes sense because he hated Spider-Man because Spider-Man didn't want to work with him. He was working against him. And if you're not with me, you're against me. So I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. And if he's in the Sinister Six together, or maybe he just wants to go on a mission and get rid of all the Spider-Man in the multiverse. And Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Toby, and Andrew are the three that are going to be the one trying to stop him, trying to get rid of all the other Spider-Man in the multiverse.
Yeah. And then my next thing is also going back to like this him collecting Stark tech, like also moving past Tony Stark a bit. Norman Osborn is already so intelligent that he doesn't need to collect another person's technology, right, you know. And so I would like that. I don't want to see Norman Osborn like, you know, piggybacking off Tony Stark. I absolutely don't want to see that. Like, don't introduce me to Norman Osborn in the MCU and bring him into this world for him just to be collecting Stark tech. But it could possibly be true because there was a rumor a year ago that Peter Parker goes to Doctor Strange to do a memory wipe, right? So we did hear about that. Charles Murphy put that out there, you know, a year ago in a scoop, and we see that that's an actual thing that happens in the film. So it could be a possibility. I hope it's not be done.
Yeah, mind you, it's a lot going on in this movie. The multiverse, the Sinister Six, the Spider-Man meeting. Because I'm going back to when I first like saw the Spider-Man multiverse happen. That was a 90s animated show. I'm not sure if it happened in the comics prior, but that's when I first saw the Spider-Man multiverse happen, right? Mm-hmm. And that was already a lot. Now you have Peter trying to deal with his legal issues of killing Mysterio and his family's being endangered. You have Doctor Strange trying to figure out a spell to make everyone forget. That would include MJ, Aunt May, and Ned, which I have no issue with. I think it should go back to him with his identity not being exposed. And also the three Spider-Man versus his Sinister Six. Like, that's already a lot. Like, each of these on its own could be its own movie with less stuff happening. But it's going to be a lot. Maybe this will finally be the one that works out of Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3. Maybe. I kind of doubt it. But actually think about it. All spectacle. If this one is all spectacle, this shit is going to be fucking epic.
It's going to be so tight.
I think right now, it's going to be the one Spider-Man film out of Tom's movies. I'm like, oh my God, this is spectacular. This has got to be.
But you're just going to be doing that because you're going to see your boy. You're going to see William Dafoe. You're going to see Tobey Maguire. That's why you're going to say it's Joe.
No,
my concern is I don't want Tom Holland's Peter Parker, who I adore, who I love, who I hang the moon with, ladies and gentlemen, to get lost in this busy film. And I think that obviously, I think is when he does the spell, it makes everyone also forget who Peter Parker is, you know, too. And then then that's that Christmas element we might be getting. We might be getting like It's a Wonderful Life, or was it A Wonderful World? Oh, I think It's a Wonderful Life. The Christmas story about the guy who goes on the bridge. I've seen it a million times, and he wishes that he was never born, right? And so then the next day he wakes up, he was never born, and he's walking around, but nobody has any memory of him. And we know that this is a Christmas movie, so we might get that It's a Wonderful Life element. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is. Nobody knows who Spider-Man is. So now he's existing in a world where no one recognizes him. Aunt May has a different thing in a different life, and all these other things. So I think that that's probably the thing that's going to go wrong. You know, it seems like. Well, but that might be too obvious.
What I was thinking, if they take care of it as they go, like the whole spell thing, like you said, if they deal with that right before they get into the villains coming through the multiverse, fine. Because I don't want that to linger through the whole movie of it taking Strange a whole movie to do this spell. Because the consequence is that everyone's going to forget. Everyone's going to forget. He's going to make the sacrifice in the middle of the movie, and then the other multiverse situation that can happen at the same time, which I'm fine with.
What if that happens at the end? Like, what if we go through all the sequence of existence of the film, and then once they're able to get through that battle, maybe he goes back to Strange, and maybe I'm just saying. These are all not necessarily what I believe, just throwing questions out.
If I had to turn it into a positive, because look at it like this, so they do this movie correctly. So he's on the run and stuff. He's on the run. I don't say he's on the run, but I think those parts when you see like Ned, MJ and them is like after when the Sinister Six comes into his universe is when he's literally trying to keep them away from Doc Ock, Green Goblin, because they're trying to get the family, and maybe they're gonna jump to Toby's universe to show Kristen Dunst, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy before she dies from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movies. Or maybe still an uncle, or maybe still all their Uncle Bens, bring them all here, abduct everybody families, lock them up somewhere, and really try to like, I don't know, have them in traps and stuff, and have these villains, the Sinister Six, hold all their families hostage, their loved ones, all the Uncle Bens. Like, if they really do that, I think it's going to be the most powerful Spider-Man movie out of Tom Holland's 3. Like, the level of emotions we're going to go through in this movie. If they do it, they do it right. Because I want to see the Sinister.
We need it. We crave it. We want it.
I mean, if he dies, I might be okay.
He dies, right? I can't do that. I can't do the voice, but
But if I'm hoping they really play on the fact that his identity is exposed, they try to get Aunt May, Ned, lock them up, and if they also have them trying to go to the other multiverses, still the Gwen Stacy, Kristen Dunst, Mary Jane, if that forces all of them to come together, hey, boom. Yeah. Now I think that's going to be the strongest part of the movie because that's going to be where the emotion's at. Now, that other leak. Remember the old leak? It's talking about something happened to Toby. I'm not sure if you want to say it here.
Yeah, we can. That he dies, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to make a sacrifice. Now, I'm okay with that if they do it right. Don't disrespect Toby, but I hope they do it right. I said
I don't want Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker to die. I kind of want it to kind of fall similar in line with that, the Spider-Verse, like the kind of that the older, even though he's the one that's less happy, and it sounds like that maybe in this world that maybe Andrew's Peter Parker might, I don't know, maybe he's just a lonely professor and he's divorced and then these things, but I'm hoping that it's Toby, Peter that makes it, and it's Andrew's Peter that dies, because let's be honest, he's the most irrelevant of the three.
What? Oh, this hate for
so Andrew. I feel, and that gives, like, if this goes well, as much as people love that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, that opens that door for him to still exist, in this world. Like if everybody's loving Tobey and if he doesn't die, I think that unless he's just like, I don't want to come back, I want to do this one movie. Unless Tobey Maguire's like so against it and they kill him. Of course they can kill him and then bring him back because of fake stakes, but I don't want that. I would prefer for him to make it through the end of the movie instead of them killing him and maybe bringing him back in some other way. So that's the only reason why I feel like they might not with Tobey, just because if this is a big deal and there's more hype around his Spider-Man, there might be a way for him to exist, still in this world and see him more,
Yeah,
in films.
Because I do agree that, to me, I don't want to see none of them die. I don't want to see none of them. Not even
I just want Ned to die. I think somebody needs to die.
If they kill Ned, maybe kill Gwen Stacy again for Andrew. Andrew Spider-Man, and put him through the ringer again. Like, actually, they can really tug on our emotions, and I'll be okay with it. And even if they kill Kristen Dunst, Mary Jane after they're married and stuff, I assume Toby, Peter, and them, they probably got kids. Like, they take away his wife and stuff and send them all in the deep end in this movie, but don't kill none of them.
Just don't kill Aunt May. Even though I know y'all don't like Aunt May, I don't want her to die.
Yeah,
I don't want Peter to like have no one, you know, in this world. You know, that's an adult.
And you know what? I said it to someone else earlier. I think this is gonna be Tom Holland's greatest Spider-Man movie. And yeah, I don't think it's gonna be his greatest because of him. But if they really do this right, oh my gosh, it's gonna be epic. Cause I think he's gonna be doing the most epic stuff we finally seen him do. Because my biggest issue, Tom Holland, like, I need to see that action and stuff. Punching, going hard. I think he's gonna do all that here. Because mind you got Toby coming back, Andrew coming back, and they have great action set pieces and stuff, and all this stuff galore. I don't know. Maybe Sam Raimi is like helping produce this movie. I don't know if they have Sam Raimi.
I think that he's in. I think he's consulted and had conversations because he's directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. He directed the original Spider-Man trilogy, and so I'm excited. Hopefully, I feel like tomorrow, unless they still have to clean up and polish some new things, that we're probably going to see the official thing tomorrow. We have to at this point, right?
Yeah,
their moment has been stepped on. We're going to see the finished product. So I know that ssjk-dots Sanctum will do a reaction. I will do a reaction, and then we'll probably discuss it and get everyone's thoughts and opinions, right? But before we go, we kind of want to talk just briefly about where possibly this leak came from, right? So you've heard us talk about Charles Murphy from Multiverse of Madness. Like, he's a scooper. His scoops are pretty on the nose. Like, he gets a few things wrong. But he has a lot of good sources that, feed him this information. And apparently, someone, they work for, a company that, produces this and markets this, trailers, by the name of Wasila Lamachi, I believe. Wasila Lamachi. Her watermark was over the trailer, right? The unfinished leaked trailer. And we know that she works for this company. You can look her up on LinkedIn. But she apparently could have been the one to have sent this out to the scooper. And then someone who works for Charles Murphy then leaked it. And then that's when it went crazy. But, I mean, this is a big deal. There's contracts that have been signed. You went outside of that contract. You broke those contracts. These, cease and desist, these confidentiality agreements, all of this, that you've broken. And apparently this could result in jail time. I really don't know how long. I've heard possibly 10 years. But what do you think about this being leaked and about the possible ramifications for the people that did this?
Hey, I'm gonna give it a buck. The fact that it is leaked, look, I don't agree. Most times, I don't agree with leaking stuff, right? But at the end of the day, like, Sony and Feige, look, I hope the people don't go. I hope the people do not go to jail over a trailer leaking. I know they're gonna be in trouble. They probably gotta, they may get demoted.
Careers might be ruined. Might have to do something else.
I don't want them to go to jail over a trailer leaking. I think that's silly. It's like someone getting locked up 15 years for some weed. Silly. But I'm okay with the trailer getting leaked because at the end of the day, Feige knows that we know Feige gonna release a trailer for the movie. But the movie is so close to the release of the movie that we need to see a trailer now. Like, we need to see it ASAP. Either the movie may get pushed back, come out next year, but at the end of the day, we need to see a trailer. And I needed to watch something. I don't care if it was leaked or not. I don't know why they was holding this trailer hostage. Like, they were just holding on to it. I understand they don't want to give us a release date yet, because maybe they might change the release date of this movie. That's fine. But you can still show a trailer, because Venom showed a trailer and it didn't get no release date on that first trailer. So,
I mean, we got the Batman teaser, and it was completely pushed back to 2022. And most of the stuff that you see in this trailer, we already knew that these things were happening because of all the rumors and the leaks. So all this did was say, oh, it's confirmed. There's that, there's this, there's that. So we know that A, B, and C are also there as well, right? So we know. But could Mysterio be the sixth member of our multiverse Sinister Six? Are you hyped to see Spider-Man No Way Home? Are you hyped to see this trailer whenever it happens? Hopefully it will happen on Marvel Monday, but you never know, right? Let us know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you have your notifications turned on. So when I drop a video, or when me and B-Dot, when I kidnap him and I say, hey, B-Dot, come stream with me for 5.5 hours. Not all the time. We talk about what if, we talk about Marvel news, we talk about films, we debate, we discuss, we break it all down over here on The Widow. So subscribe, like, share, comment, and make sure your notifications are turned on. And of course, Brother Dot here, ssjk-dots Sanctum, has his own channel. You want to tell us about your channel real quick and what you do before we get up out of here?
Depending on when this recording goes out, probably gonna go up the same day as I'm about to edit this thing, get it up for both of us. We're gonna get this up now. But if the day this recording drops, I most likely drop 2 videos today. I dropped a comic book review and I dropped a discussion about LaMelo Ball and PJ Washington. So go check those out. Type this name in here exactly like that. Everything that's capitalized, gotta capitalize it, and you'll find my channel. Click on it, you're gonna get anime reviews, music, anything pop culture. I talk about it. Video games, I talk about it all. So come check out my channel.
And you get to see that beautiful smile and that amazing hair. And he has all the energy in the world. Again, Brother Dot, aka ssjk-dots Sanctum. Again, you know I love you. Thank you for being here with me. And you know what? I'm your girl, Ashley, aka The Widow. And you know, we're about to be up out of here. You know what? Like I said, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And have your notifications turned on. And we're out of here. Bye.
What did you do?